Hello everyone, welcome back. Tonight we're going to dive back into the material design and XAML. For everybody confused about why my stream is starting at a different time, I've got an early morning, starting early, ending early. See how it goes. That's the plan. I'm bad at plans. But I think that is where we are going to go. Okay, first and foremost, shameless self-promotion. There is a user group talk that myself and my colleague Artem are doing next Tuesday. So if you are watching this on YouTube on the day that it comes out, this is tomorrow. So YouTube people, tomorrow, if you are watching very quickly. March 16th, Tuesday, noon Pacific time. So if you are interested, this is going to all be around, I think the best way to phrase it is like the philosophy of testing. So there's going to be some code examples and looking at specifics, but oftentimes what we've seen is that the big hurdle with people writing tests isn't really a technical issue. It's getting people into the right mindset of what to test and how to think through those problems. This is going to kind of sound a little flippant, but writing the code is usually not the hard part. Most of us can write code halfway decently, but there will be there will definitely be some discussion around thinking through what is the right thing to test. Will there be poems about testing, maybe generated by ChatGPT? No comment. However, don't scan this description for AI generated content. It may be a particular AI agent may have had a strong hand in drafting this content here for the description, because I don't know how to write good descriptions. Anyway, so there's that. Okay, material design and XAML project. So a couple things. I did review Nikolai's smart hint stuff. Nikolai, when you're watching this, awesome work. I played around on the demo app for quite a while, testing kind of all the different combinations. I think that is absolutely amazing. So that was great work. I merged it in. My intent is that, and maybe I'll go do it right now. My intent is that 4.9 is going to release. So I may even kick it tonight. We'll see. I am going to put a 4.10 for now. I know I said 4.8 was going to be the last, but you know what? We keep doing stuff in the middle, and 5.0 isn't quite ready. So you know what? I'm just going to keep rolling with the releases. So as soon as this, where'd the action go? As soon as this, oh, look at that, it finished. Do we just kick the release now? Show off my cool, pretty, awesome pipeline? I think we might. Let's briefly take a look at the milestone. Because I've got a pipeline that I'm a little proud of. Not gonna lie. This one here, man, I feel like it's one of those, it's hard to write a good release note description for it, but this is probably, like, that was a big chunk of work right there. We're gonna flag that as release notes. Let's see, pop up topmost. Hint assist is cut off because a lot of these hint assists all died to that one PR. Let's see. That one's flagged as release notes with contents not being rounded. You know what? Let's add release notes to both of these. So, okay, so release notes. There we go. Okay. I think we're just gonna hit the go button. I think we're gonna do it. Let's just pull the trigger. Let's see. Production release. So last time we had, you know, mild issues with a couple small things here, but for the most part it went well. Yeah, do we just, I think we just kick it. The milestone generated. 4.9.0. Sudo make me a release. Okay, so this is going to do a ton of work. While this thing is going, we'll just talk through all of the stuff that this thing ends up doing. So it does some version number stuff. It's going to generate some release notes for me, which is great. It uses the built-in stuff. The build and test artifacts, that's just building all of the NuGet packages, the demo app. It builds up a list of icon changes. It's going to open up a draft release on the repo so that I can review and make any tweaks to the release that I want, which, for those people unfamiliar, the releases section over here. So we'll end up with a 4.9 release here that we can review and check. And then when we hit the approve button, because it'll pause there and wait for approval. But once it gets the approval, it's going to close the milestone, publish the release, push out all the NuGets, update the version numbers, and then update my wiki. I kind of like this. Like this thing's kind of slick. So we're gonna let that guy chug for a minute, and then we'll come back and check it when he's done, because it'll take him a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to try to refresh myself on where the heck I left off on the color brushes. So 5.0 stuff. There's a bunch. A lot of these things are doing this. Yeah, it only does all that. Yeah, it is. I will admit I spent quite a bit of time automating that, and I'm tempted to do more of it. The other thing that I may go look at is okay, more shameless self-promotion while I'm in here. I do have another repo that I'm somewhat proud of, and I need to pin it to my profile. That's what I really should do. This guy here. There's a couple more templates that I've been poking at that I want to do. One is going to be a Blazor app, because I've now done 2 or 3 of them, all with a similar pattern, and I'm getting real annoyed setting them all up the same way. There's also going to be one on source generators. So for people unaware, C# incremental source generator. Yeah, so here's the fun part. Andrew Locke's blog always comes up high. The fundamental problem with incremental source generators is they are not documented well. And I unfortunately, oh boy, what is this? How long can you work to make? Yes. Yes. I tried not to think about the chart. The fundamental problem with incremental source generators is they aren't documented well, and they are very easy to get wrong, as I discovered. I made the mistake of letting some people who are experts on this review some of my source generators, and I think the exact words I got were no, 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 please no, no, or something. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to that effect. But then they offered to actually come on stream and teach me how to do it properly. And I was like, that sounds great. So at some point that will get scheduled. There will probably be a stream. Don't know what time. Probably won't be in my normal time slot. It'll be a random one. Depending on how much advance notice I have, it'll get posted to the Twitters and notifications here. So if you are interested there, yeah. So hopefully we can get something that's a little closer to correct, because there's getting it working, which there's plenty of information out there about getting it working. Like Andrew Locke's blog will show you how to get it working. There are some performance considerations where, and you can see that the implementation of a source generator has great performance, but there's another performance consideration, which is how fast does the generator run? Are you slowing down somebody's Visual Studio? And the one that I wrote certainly was. So, but there will probably be something on that in the future. And then I will likely put together a .NET template around doing that, because most of the .NET templates that are out there now are smaller, like individual projects. And these are more like full solution. Like, let's get up and running quickly because I want to have all of the stuff configured. I've also contemplated putting together a just a GitHub Actions one with just a whole bunch of useful little actions in them, because there's a lot of things that I've tended to like. So, okay, that's going. Okay, let's reorient ourselves back to color stuff. If I remember all the way back, I'd be interested to see how you stack templates. You know, that's a good point. Okay, change your plans. You convinced me, Benjamin. Let's do it. Let's do it. Boom. So currently, I don't. But that is something that I've wanted to do. So let's go build that, because frankly, that's something I've wanted to build. And if you're interested in it, let's do it. Hang on one second. I don't know what's on my VS Code thing real quick. I need to clean that up just a little bit. Open folder. Where .NET templates select. Okay. Okay, so you will note I switched into VS Code rather than Visual Studio for this. There's a couple reasons. I tend to like to author the templates in VS Code and then use Visual Studio to test the output of it. There is, so on this README, hey, that's not what I wanted. Where's I want the preview one, preview pane. There we are. Boom. So on the README on this repo, so we're just gonna here. So for back up to here. There we go. There's the basic installing, uninstalling, yada yada yada. Why did I seriously make those two different heading? Installing. No, those are both. I have no idea why they're rendering at different sizes. None whatsoever. That's exciting, but whatever. So there's installing, uninstalling, updating, yada 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 yada. You only have £1 on it. On uninstalling. Are you sure? 1, 2. Oh, look at that. Hey. So you're saying reading is hard. Got it. Okay. I tip my hat to you. You are correct. Okay, so the idea here is for local development, I like to be able to do just .NET pack, .NET new install -- force, and then you can run any of these. This is just showing doing .NET new with the WPF one, but you can swap this out for any of the template names to work. And then this is effectively the test. So there's a couple things that are not added in here yet that I would really like to add. So one is the testing of templates, right? I want to, because there isn't really a good pipeline in here for testing. You'll note it just does a straight .NET pack and away we go. What would be ideal is if this thing would actually pack up the NuGet package, add that NuGet package as a source, install the templates, create the templates, make sure that a fresh creation does the needful, and then we circle back. So that is one thing. Why run on Windows? That is... So I think I set that with the idea that I was going to be running .NET Test against a WPF app. But honestly, there's no good reason for that in its current state. And with the WPF test, since there's no UI tests that are firing up, I can probably get away with... I'm trying to think. I think you can get away with cross-compiling on Ubuntu anyway. So we'll set that as Ubuntu and go from there. But I do think what I would like to do is slap something in after build that automatically goes through and sets this up. But let's back up to the idea of stacking templates, because that was the interesting part. So on a lot of these templates, we'll just pick on one or two examples. I've got some files in here that are somewhat common, right? I've got my directory packages.prop, my directory builds.prop, or builds.targets, builds.props. And a lot of these things are common across all of my templates. I almost, and hear me out on this, I almost want to template my templates, which sounds terrifying in and of itself. Because in a lot of cases, these files, I kind of want to have them be shared and not necessarily be specific, because I end up duplicating a lot of this stuff across various bits, right? Like when it goes to rev this, the Dependabot goes crazy because it goes, oh, look at this, I see a directory packages.props, and if coverlet pushes out an update, I now have to rev this on all my templates. It would be much nicer if I could centralize this a little bit. Or, for example, when things are ready to update to C# 11 or 12, whatever V next is. Hang on, how come I don't have my... See, here's another good example. My WPF one doesn't have my Lang version. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Having this be centralized all the way out. So the idea is I'd like to get it to the point where I can have an easy way of pushing this stuff out and stacking templates, right? Like if I want to have, I almost want a template for things like centralized package management that sets up my NuGet config and my packages.props into each of these repositories. And it doesn't necessarily need to be, I guess it kind of needs to be fixed, doesn't it? Yeah, and so that was the idea of trying to figure out how can I move this into a shared area. So step one to do this is we're going to need something more like this, right? And this is kind of an experiment because I don't necessarily know the right answer here. There's not a clear-cut way of doing this. But for some of these, I think I can almost take things wholesale. The disadvantages, like for this directory packages.props, right? Like some of these things are going to be common across all of them. But in other cases, there is going to be, there's going to need to be changes to them. And I'm wondering what's the easiest way to go about doing this. What is the easiest way to go about doing this? Let's update. Because part of me wants to just do a template of templates where I take this file in and I gen the template up. The disadvantage is there's not really, let's go and look. I don't believe the .NET new templates. You still chugging along? Yep. There's not necessarily a clean, oh, that's not it. I want the, yeah, one of you guys here has a link to the, yeah, this guy. Because this guy here, so for anybody who wants to follow along at home, this guy contains all of the interesting bits, and they have a link to their to various samples. And the issue being there's not necessarily a clean way to put something in. Why did I do that? Put that back. Close U. So I guess let's just start with what would I want to be common across all of these. because I may end up just PowerShelling it. As much as I hate that idea, it might not be that bad to have a... Actually, you know what? Let's just template my templates. How bad of an let's do that. PowerShell might not be that bad. Yeah, I know. I'm going to eat those words. How bad of an idea is this? I template my templates. That doesn't seem that bad. Because then... So here's the advantage of this. All right, let's go down this path of just a couple things. All right, so if I do this, let's come in here. Template, Kaboo, boy. Template, template for, let's see, Kaboo. This is, there's no way this bites me. And so in this case, we're going to use the word template. And then we'll leave some of these for now. This is going to get real weird real quick. But for a lot of these cases, this is the setup. Right? And so now inside of here, let's terminal this beast. Give me a terminal. CD template, CD template. All right, so inside of here, we're going to go .NET new, and then do I actually want that much here? I think I just want... Yeah, I'm trying to think of exactly what I want to do here, but I think what I would like to do is I would like to... Do we have to pass in the name of the template we want to stack? I don't think so. Really, the challenge is going to come. The like packages props is going to be a good example. Is I'm going to need to merge files, basically. Is I want a base, but then I want to override parts of it. But I think we can do that. So, because the idea here, so let's take, for example, the NuGet config, right? So we're going to just copy the NuGet config. We're going to paste in the NuGet config, right? So this guy, some of these parameters are worthless. Might be easier than centralizing. Possibly. I don't know if that solves the issue of something needs to override something else. And currently, templates really operate at a file level. So if we come back to our README, so local testing, right? So we do this. Go up. Go up, go up. Let's see, .NET Pack. Do the needful. Yep. The NuGet packaging is unhappy with me. That's okay. We then do the install. Did it. That did not do a .NET install. .NET install period -- force to override. There we go. Now we've got kaboo.template in here. And then here, what we want to do to actually test this, you just packed in, yeah, is I want to go into templates, right? And then into library. And then I want to go .NET new kaboo.template. Now this is going to error. Oh, it didn't. Why didn't that error? Oh, does it not? Here, let's actually do this in a different terminal so I can open up multiple things. CD temp, all right, and then mkdir template test, CD template test .NET new kaboo template. There's nothing there. Do I have a mistake where it's not actually adding the NuGet config for me? .NET new kaboo.NuGet. It did add the NuGet config, so why did this one not pick it up, I guess is the question. Oh, because this is in the wrong directory. Move. Okay. So, there. Okay. Okay, now we're talking. .NET pack. There we go. .NET new install. There we go. And then I'm going to just come over here. That way I can have multiple sessions open. CD.NET templates, library. All right, now if I go .NET new, this should fail. Right, because it sees that it's going to overwrite. But if I do this, because I'm under source control, I now have control and I can see that, okay, this guy is at least in sync. All right, so I can take my template repository, reapply it over the top of something else, and have a way of syncing up everything. So for a lot of these things, I can get a fairly close setup for what I want. Right, so there's a couple things here there's a couple things that I want in my base template that I can just guarantee right out the gate. Right, I don't know if I can make assumptions on workflows. Why is there a dot in that? There's not supposed to be a dot in the name, is there? No, it's just GitHub/workflows. I got a bug in my template too. Okay, let's just gonna fix that real quick. See, things like that I would like to not have to deal with. This one doesn't even have a GitHub one. So, but regardless, I don't think I want a workflows thing in my base, but I do want Dependabot turned on. All right, this is something that I would like to do. I do need to figure out how to deal with that, but for now, at least as a default starting point, this is a reasonable setup for how I want my Dependabot on all of my templates set up. Let's go through and pick on a few others. Editor config, I know that has the setup that I want, so let's put that in here as well. Because again, this is going to be one of those, once I have it in one place, the git ignore is going to be another one that I want, basically the same on all of my repositories. The directory build stuff, this is where we're going to have to merge some things. Directory build targets is fine. That we can put in wholesale. Packages, that we can't. And then we probably want a README. This is probably a bad name for it. Why is this thing here? Does that actually show up in my output one? It does. I don't think I want that. Get that as a word. See, I'm already finding bugs in my own template. Why wouldn't you just point to your normal README? In some of these cases, I've pre-canned the README with a few things of what I want, but I think this is pretty close. Okay, I do want to go back over here and take a look at the parameter from list. It's not necessarily a parameter from list. What I'm looking to see is there a way to pass in things a little bit bigger? I know that's sort of a weird arbitrary thing to want, but I would like, and one of these things here has a template sample. One of these guys here has his own, like, I want to be able to pass in parameters to change out more than that. And if I have to build a little tooling around this, that's not the end of the world. I think we are going to just take a README here, though. Paste. And this is going to be... I think we can do this, and I think we can do this. And then I believe what we can come in here and do is this guy up here. What I would like to have is a required parameter. And I think all you have to do for this is, let's see, I think we just do template name, string, and I think if I don't specify anything, it makes it a required parameter. But we're going to test and find that out. Okay. Then we're going to come over here. Let's see. Let's actually do it here. Yeah, do it. Okay, and then we're going to do template. Oh, and that doesn't have... I need to look. There's... I thought there was a way to do, like... let's see. How to author templates. One of these guys has wiki or docs. This is what I was looking for. How to create new templates, sample reference.json, value forms. Was this the one that I saw that let me... Oh, no, this isn't quite it. What I want is required parameter. That isn't it. Close you. Symbol generators, conditional content templations, testing templates. That available symbol generators. That's nice. I don't think a symbol generator is what I want. Maybe it is. Args Linux, symbols, description, source definition, copy only, condition, modifiers, GUIDs. That's great. Parameter. Oh, is this... Maybe this is what I do want. The sort of symbol types are... type parameter. Mandatory yes. That's what I want. I want type of parameter. So I want to tell it, darn it. Oh, I do have type of parameter. Okay. Mandatory, yes. Data type. String. Oh, it's probably because I have a data type on here. Got it. Oh, is required. Might be a fixed boolean or a condition. Got it. So we can just do that. So I want to say, oh, look at that. Hello. That's incredibly convenient. That is insanely convenient. You know what? We're going to chain these. Oh, what is the PowerShell way to chain the commands? Isn't there a way to chain these things together? Probably, I think I'm mixing my bash syntax and my PowerShell, and I can't remember the right. There we go. Semicolon. There we go. And so now we can do rm star all. Yeah, sure. Make sure we're empty. Missing mandatory options for template name. Template name foo. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do then here is we want to come into here, and I want to replace this with template name. So then if I do the build packy thing, rm star, I can't remember. Do I do force? Or maybe it's quiet. Template name, if I do kebu.foo, right? And then I cat the readme. Template test name. It did a replacement, but it renamed template to template test. Oh, because because I'm in a folder called template test. This is exciting. Okay. So because the names overlap, I'm getting the issue. Let's do this. RM template test, yes. mkdir template example. There we go. And now we'll do this guy. Cat readme. Interesting. Why is it still replacing template with template example? Do I have a thing in here? Oh, the source name is just template. That is going to be way too generic. In fact, I don't know if we even want that here. So this source name on the template is the kind of top level thing that gets replaced. So you'll note on like the NuGet template, you'll see how everything here is doing NuGet lib. And on the template, its source name is NuGet lib. So by default, when you do a .NET new for the template, like this guy here, if you don't specify a name, the name of the output directory is used, which is what's happening. So source name is effectively the magical thing to go and rename and replace, and it's hip to figuring out casing for you too, which is really nice, which is why in the README it's automatically lowercasing. The problem is you really want source name to be something that's kind of unique, and I think we want source name to be a lot more unique than it already is. Okay, so that should fix that problem. Now I go here. I'll just do a force. Now if I cat that guy, template name didn't get replaced. So what is the magical incantation to change this out? Why does Kaboo have two O's? Great question. Great question. We are... Okay. So... We'll go with the Wikipedia page. This is probably old enough. So, a long time ago, there was a thing called Windows 95. It was one of the first computers that I had when I was younger. And it was also the computer that we had when my family got internet. This was ye olde dial-up, where you got to hear the do-do-do-do-do-do as you did it. But Hellbender was one of the first games that I had that was online. You could play with friends, which was rather exciting. Yeah. And at the time you had to put in a call sign, and Kaboo is the first thing that came to my mind. I typed it in and I've used it ever since. So yeah, I don't remember exactly what year I came up with it in, but it was on a Windows 95 computer shortly after it. So yeah, as for an explanation, that's really it. That's all I got. It was what randomly popped into my head one day. Oh, this is what I'm missing. The replaces bit, I believe. Because I want it to do a find and replace on it. And I want this to be the template.name. So what I want to do here is I want to come over here and go template.name. And then this template, so I almost want name plus ID. Yeah, we're gonna go with, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go with to do template.name, template.id. We're gonna come up here and we're gonna do this. Template name, template ID, replaces template ID. Because I don't think I can, there's probably enough of a separation there. And then repackage that up. Repackage this up. Template name is going to be foo template. We're going to have to quote this. We're going to do template ID gets Kaboo foo -- force sudo create me a template, cat the readme. This did not do foo template there. Replaces template. Is it going to be picky about casing? Okay, let's see, repackage that guy up. Rerun it. There we go. So now we have foo template there, Kaboo foo there, creates a new app in your current directory by running, and a bit of that stuff. Okay, so that works a little bit better. Okay, so now I want to figure out how we do the double. So I don't know if there's any other files I realistically want to share. These can all go away. Those are artifacts of me running them inside of here. And then do the same thing here. Clean that out, clean that out. I'm just checking to see if there's anything else. Okay, so now the question comes, how do we want to do merged content? So I would like this thing to also include build props, build targets, all of that. I think. I'm trying to decide if I like the README or not. Like on one hand, I want the README for new ones, but I don't want it for existing ones. So let's actually put in a switch to turn it off. So we're gonna do no README. All right, so this is just another Boolean parameter. Yes, and then if we come down here, we can do basically the exact same thing. If no README is specified, then we are going to exclude readme.markdown from the output. That way we don't have to gen a README if we don't want to. Because I would like to be able to reapply these things onto these templates. Now, I don't think there's any level of scripting available. And I think that's okay. I think that is okay. Just trying to confirm that. Yeah, and if I remember, PowerShell merge XML files. Nice. XML is not spelled with a C, in case you're wondering. I think, yeah, I mean, that works, but that's so ugly. Yeah. I almost want something smarter, but I don't know if I can do smarter. Da, da, da. Yeah, because I don't want to do that garbage on everything. I think, though, what I can do is I can do my own simple find and replace bits. I think. So let's pick on packages.props, right? So this is one that I know I like. So this has a lot of what is going to be needed. However, things like source link, not relevant for a WPF app. Likely not relevant. It's not something I'm going to include by default. But a lot of these testing projects, these are going to be fairly common to a lot of my unit test projects. I like using mock. I like auto mock. I tend to favor XUnit. Coverlet for code coverage. Great. All those things are nice to have. So let's let's see about doing that. So if I wanted to have this guy exist, but I wanted to be able to run my template to stack them. I think what I want to do is I want to pack the one template. I think what I want to do is pack the template, apply the template on top of the other templates, and then repack these templates. And in order to do that, I think the easiest way is to have a teeny bit of scripting in here. I think that's the easy path. Let's try that. So you'll note this is, so I do have a test local setup thing here, right? Of it clears out a lot of this. So test ps1 right? So it uninstalls the package, does the needful, does the pack, does the reapply, pushes it in, away we go, right? I think what we want though is I want one that goes beyond that. Gen templates.ps1. So I think I want something close, right? Because I was doing the where did this history come from? I don't, huh? This is weird. I wanted to start off doing the pack stuff, right? So step one, we're actually going to end up doing a little bit of the same stuff here. So we're going to remove the items, .NET pack, right? And I think what we want is install the locally built templates. I think I want that on there. And then I believe what I want, this one actually doesn't need the force because of the removal at the beginning. So if we come up to here, so that'll pack, okay, we got to comment this. Remove the templates if present, pack and install. Okay. Apply template to other templates. So for now, we're going to just pick on this one, and I'm going to do a quick commit. Template of templates. So save point. There we go. Boom, done. Okay, so we're going to do just like we were doing over here, where we were applying it. We're going to end up doing something very similar right here. So we want to do, let's see, push directory, templates, library, NuGet. And we should probably do // because I'm likely to run this on Linux box. And then, yeah, push location. Sure, fine. Be happy. Okay, so we're going to go in there, and we're intentionally switching the directory so that the template is going to use this as its starting point. Then the other thing to note is we want this guy to be Kebu NuGet as the the template ID. And we do have to specify the force because we are intentionally trying to overwrite stuff. And then we want to look down like here. It's interesting. We don't actually want to require the template name. We don't even need the template ID if no README is specified. We do, because we want -- no README for these, right? And so then we're going to go, and then here we want, at the very end, we want to pop location. So gen templates. So it's going to uninstall, rebuild the templates, reapply the templates, and then run the template against the NuGet one. It shows at least some delta on the Dependabot. Let's take a look at what it actually changed. So the Dependabot previously had this guy on here. I'm actually wondering why I put that on my base template. Given that those aren't even packages in here, it's probably a mistake that those were in the template in the first place. But everything else lined up just fine. Okay, so that gives me a good starting point here. So this applies the .NET, the template to the NuGet library template. And then what I would like to do is be able to, because this guy doesn't have the, oh, he does have packages. I thought there was something extra in here. Source link. Huh? Shouldn't that have killed off the source link one? Because this one's different. Let's test it outside real quick. Cat directory packages. That one has source link in it. Oh, I just never saved it. That's why. Okay. 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 We got to close some stuff down. I got too much crap going on. Okay. So if we gen the templates again, that should cause a delta here. And we ultimately want to not have that delta. Okay. So the template ran. It added it in. Okay, so the next thing I would like to try to do is have a... I think you can do this. I think there's a way to tell it files to ignore. And I'd like to abuse that feature if it exists. Where are we going here? Template constraints, project content evaluation. There is, where is this guy? Because if there's a way to do reference for template.json, that'll work. Let's see. Not you. Boolean condition if the source modifiers. We might just look at the exclude here in a minute. Placeholder file names. So let's look at exclude. Because I'd like to. Yeah. Okay. So source definition has the exclude where I can filter things out. Perfect. Perfect. So what I would like to do is have, first of all, we're going to go back here and we're going to discard this change because we don't want that. And then what I would like to do is copy paste. And what I would like to have here, template. We might even just do TMP, right? But what I would like to have up here is I would like to do, and I think what I saw is the exclude lives at the top level. Let's confirm where the heck this guy goes. Let's see. Indicate that included by sources include that should not be processed. Source target. These are, I'm very not clear where I'm at. Let's see, template definition, metadata of the template. Okay, I agree. Content manipulation. Let's see, sources, the set of mappings of the template is defined in any array of source. If not specified, the implicit is source period and all of the properties. So I think sources, this is where it goes. Source definition is defined as an array of source. So this is an array of sources. Why do I not see this is an array of modifiers? So exclude should live at the same level as modifiers. Okay, so we go exclude. Holy cow, thank you. What? Did I install an extension for this? This has like been on point, and I don't see an extension for templates, but man, it has been on point. Let's see. So this is pretty close because this is the default. 5 there. Oh, there's a 6th one there. Oh, it's because they put this up on the same line. Okay, so that's the same set. But I would also like to add to my set of things. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just looking at the setup there. Star.tmp. Okay. So the idea here is if I end up excluding these things, then I can use them to hold the information that I seek. So in this case, what I would like to indicate is that this guy here and this guy here need to end up coming together. And I think what we want to do, like if I have my way, what I would really like to write here is this, this, this. I think that's what I want. Because then what I would like to do is in my PowerShell script is I would like to then iterate over the directory. So get child item, path, and actually what I really would like is star.tmp. All right, I think that's what I want, and I would like to do it, and I'd like to recurse. So for each template file in that guy. This is very C-sharpy of me. I think what we want to do then is look for a file. Let's see. So then target file gets template file. How do you do the? Yeah, I should just do this in C#. This might be easier in C#. Do we build an entire library to do this in C#? Boy, that doesn't feel worth it. I think it's this. I think it's that. Let's see. Right host. You know what? We can just test this. If we do that, we do that, we do run and debug. This is wrong because I deleted the push location and pop location. We do want those. Okay, so we're gonna go hunting. We get back a, let's see, locals, the template file, LMNO, yeah, template file. Okay. What is it? System.io.path. There. You happy? Okay. Run it. I think I broke it when I killed the thing that it was using while I was trying to use it. Yeah, I made it angry. I get it. I get it. I deleted your session while you were in the middle of using it and you didn't like me taking your cheese away from you. Fine. Relaunch. I didn't really get to see the value of target file, but that looks close to right. It just prim end. Let's try that real quick, and that will probably get me locals. Target and template file. That looks right. Okay, cool. Okay, so then we do a, go ahead and run. Fine. So if is it exists, no, if test path is magical incantation. That's right. See, I can PowerShell a little bit sometimes. Okay, so test path, if the thing works, then we need to actually merge the bloody files together. And this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting. I think for now, since I don't have a use case against it, we just blindly assume XML-based files. I want to double check. PowerShell merge XML files. I feel like somebody's got to have written this. Merge XML files with different elements nodes. Need something like this. Import node. I guess. I guess. Let's see. That is going not quite the same. Merge joining multiple XML files. Da, da, da. This feels like a solved problem. Ooh, hang on 1 second. I've got an idea. Chat GPT, you wanna be helpful for me real quick? Log in, please. Log in. Oh, two-factor auth. Where's my phone? Come on, let me in. Authenticator and sign in. Approve. There we are. New chat. Can I? Okay. Let's see how it does. I mean, I see no problem with blindly copying and pasting arbitrary PowerShell from an AI agent. What could possibly go wrong with this plan? What could possibly go wrong with this plan? Okay, so we'll do. So hold on, which way is the import going? One is importing the node. So this is the target. So this is going to be, I want this one to be target file. I want this one to be template file. And I want this one to be target file. And I want you to work flawlessly out the gate without me thinking too hard. You know what? I don't really feel like waiting for this. So send it. Okay. And then let's look at the diff. So I mean it worked-ish. It worked-ish. Question is how you don't know to merge. Let's see. Because I almost want to give it some bit of knowledge of what's there. Because we do know something about these. Okay. So such that file one, let's see, root, item group, item, include one. Let me just give an example. Item group. And let's see, 2 becomes I don't know if it's gonna actually be able to follow that. But let's see if it is able to. See, and this is where this is getting a little closer. Let's see. So iterate over the child nodes. Look for an existing. If the existing exists, import. Else do it. That's pretty close. I mean, at least for what I'm wanting to do at the moment, simplest thing that works. And then actually, I want to go back and I want to throw this away first of all. Let's see. Discard changes because it looks like it probably worked. But I would like to rerun gen templates again and look at the diff. So it got closer. It did append them together. Yeah, because it did. Because this. Okay, so the starting state of the file is going to be this. Then rerun. So it tacks it into the end because it is importing. Existing node. Append child. Let's see. Okay. Sort and sort the imported nodes by their include attribute values. So in case it's not clear, ChatGPT is freaking awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome. Okay, so how did it go through and do the sorting? It did a little bit different up there. So sort property include. For each item, remove child, append child. No, there's no. Wait, what is that doing? What is that doing? So iterate over. Okay, so it takes XML1, selects the IG elements. In this case, this will actually be item group. Just too lazy to tell it about that. And then in this case, this is going to be package version, not item. Sort property include. So it finds all of the nodes, sorts them for each of them, removes them, and adds them. Oh, this works because it's effectively just replacing the list as it goes through. Oh, that's clever. Oh, that's clever. So this should now actually put it in the right place. Oh, ChatGPT. Look at that, and it slid it in. I can delete it, hit save, rerun, and it goes back in. Okay. So this works for this particular situation, and at least for the situations in question that I'm going to have around these item groups. So simplest thing that works for the moment. I'm wondering if rather than just hunting out TMP files, if I should actually have something specific to each of these guys in question. I think that probably makes the most sense. That probably makes the most sense, because this really needs to turn into some function bits, right? So somewhere up here we're going to end up with function update directory packages props. I think is ultimately how this is going to work, right? And I don't think we're going to need parens. And so I think then we can start to build out something that is slightly more syntactically aware, because I don't think I need a lot, and I'm kind of okay making this thing be a little purpose built. I don't need a generic XML merger. Something like this probably works just fine for at least what I'm doing. Because slap this in a function, I only need a couple levels deep for any of these things. It's not that major, and then I can have this work. Yeah, and I think what we might do, I might change this. Can I do .tmp .star instead? And then if I do that, can I then go .tmp .props? Because if I make it .props, then it picks up the language mode of it. I'm looking at this, and I'm guessing it's not hip to that idea. Let's see. Directory dot packages dot tmp dot props. Yeah, I'm wondering, it may be nice to... I'm wondering if it's actually better to just do something along the lines of, because if we're gonna do this, new folder, no, I want it inside of here, right? I want it here, and I want to call it something like TMP, and then if I move you up into here, move, right? And then I don't need to base it on the file name. I can just do this. And then I can come over here, and I can say I would like to exclude slash TMP slash everything in it. I think is what I want. And then if I do that, let's see, move file, commit, and then I think that gets me away from needing to have it. Yeah, because I'm thinking then I can build out this script and push it through. I'm going to make me a branch real quick. Stacking templates. I think I'm going to end up doing that. That's in template I want. I do want to discard those. Discard changes. What are you doing? Stage all. Starting work on script to stack templates. Because that way I can stack one onto the other. I can have a TMP directory that contains effectively all of my replacements. I believe that this will... It should exclude it. I'm just surprised that I'm not getting Oh, it's because I'm expecting to see the grayed out thing, and that was a get ignore thing, not a template thing. So this should keep this guy out. This sets this up. That's perfect. And then the end result here should be this file when all is said and done when I run this script. Because what I'd like to see happen is this script executes and nothing changes. So update props. Because I think that's fairly simple. I think, yeah. 3 levels deep, have it merge and auto sort and be mildly intelligent about seeing this thing merge. And then I just have to write the script to do it and put it together. And then I can have one thing building all of these. So I like it. For merging templates. Okay. Boom. Hey, stop it. Okay, so let's go back here real quick because we were kicking a release and it wants me to review. So let's review this release really quick. Okay, so if I go releases, and other people won't be able to see this just yet because this is a draft release at the moment. But here we have a list of key changes that it's generated. Double check these. We've got a new contributor. This contributor list, I include more than what GitHub does because I think people who review PRs, add issues, comments should be counted. So these are all the ones here. There's your assets. I see no issue. Full send. Review deployments. Production. 4.9 out the door. I want to see pipeline work. This time all 4 should go, or 5. I can't count. And my I need to move my big head out of the way. 1 green. How do I get this? There we go. Okay, close the milestone. Oh, it didn't update the version numbers properly. Dang it. This is one of the things is I can only test these at long runs. Okay, milestone got closed. Version number update didn't apparently work properly. So take a quick gander at what went wrong there. Let's see. Without workflow's permission. Oh, so it needs... Oh, so close. It needs another permission. Okay, fine. Let's see, workflows. It was trying to update the get versions, I believe, and right, let me just go back and double check the actual release. So it is trying to update workflows get version.yaml. Yeah, increment version numbers after release of 4.9.0. Great. So this is the incrementing version numbers, update function. Dumb question, but how do you YAML? That is not a dumb question. With much pain and suffering, I think is the only correct answer. No, so there's... YAML is everybody's best friend and worst nightmare all at the same time. It is a somewhat convenient format, but it is a confusing as all get out format. So depending on what you're building, with YAML, whether it's GitHub Actions or pipelines or Kubernetes or whatnot, I would strongly suggest VS Code. And there is almost assuredly an extension for whatever you're building, whether it's, for example, GitHub Actions. These extensions will often give you better IntelliSense, better coding, schema validation. I'm trying to rewrite is that resource groups through YAML configs, and it is a pain. Yes. I don't know if I have a great answer. YAML is very much a pain in the butt. There's a running joke that people who do pipeline work, you end up just seeing a string of commits of fixing broken pipeline, fixing YAML syntax, fixing YAML syntax, please YAML syntax work. Oh, dear heavens, why isn't it working? Yeah, that's the general flow. Repeatedly. I work with a bunch of people who do pipeline work. One of them, Benjamin in the chat, has done this many a time himself. And you end up just kind of slamming your head against it repeatedly. There are a handful of things that can try to make things easier. The other big drawback with YAML is outside of syntax validation, it's really hard to know when you've done it right without actually letting the whatever runner is going to ingest that YAML run it. There's not a clean solution there. So yeah, I think the best advice I can give you is VS Code with appropriate extensions installed, a large dose of patience, and I'm sorry, it's Justin, sup, dude? You don't need me to tell you to do that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is very, very hard. And native Terraform is worse. Yeah. Part of the issue with YAML is the spec is so open-ended. Like it's a blessing and a curse. It lets you because it can let you do so much, it makes it really hard to validate anything. Oh yeah, this is actually one worth checking out. So at least for GitHub Actions, it is, rather than just kicking it and waiting for it to run, it can let you run your actions locally in a lot of cases. So, and obviously there's lots of caveats of running running your own actions and things about OS and various things of that nature. But in like the 95% case, this works great. Yeah. Well, and ADO pipelines aren't actually going anywhere. Microsoft has talked about saying that no, we're sorry for the confusing messaging. We're not killing off Azure DevOps for GitHub, yada yada. Don't everybody panic. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of mixed messages in terms of killing it off. Yeah, and I think what they found out is that there's a lot of very big orgs on it that are like, no, we're not going to GitHub Actions yet. It's not at feature parity. Like, there's not a migration or a simple migration path for us. No, you can't make us do that. Yeah, and that's the big limitation, is everybody who wants all of the nice ADO features, GitHub is just not there. And it may not ever get there either, because every time GitHub implements something, they try to reimagine or at least rethink of what it is people are actually trying to do, rather than to just, copy paste DevOps into GitHub. And so oftentimes things are different, not always better, not always worse, but often different. And I think they've overlooked the idea of the cognitive load that it takes people coming back and forth. Yeah. No, and they have put, because for a while they yanked a bunch of developers off the ADO team, but that's not true anymore. They actually have putting stuff in. Like the dependency tracker is amazing. Yeah, and they're actually working on some of the fun stuff like Dependabot. There are ways to try to get that into Azure DevOps so that you can start to get like the best of GitHub in DevOps as well. So rather than just it being a one-way street, they're trying to make it a two-way street where both teams get stuff from the other, which is kind of cool. So, well, it is nearly 10 o'clock, and I unfortunately have a very early morning, so I am probably going to call it here. I will rev the version numbers for Material Design and XAML, but I'm just going to do those manually, and then I'll go chase the GitHub permissions that I need to add to my workflow. I believe there's just a permissions tag with workflow or something under it that needs to get slapped in. But Justin, as always, it was a pleasure. Benjamin, thank you for hanging out. With that, I think I'm going to tell everybody happy coding. See everyone next time.